Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, I'm going to talk to you today about Elemental, aka watching this movie single is worse than being waterboarded. So, the synopsis. In a city where fire, water, air, and land all live together in harmony, one fiery woman will figure out how much she has in common with one go-with-the-flow guy. Truth be told, that synopsis and the marketing for this film didn't know justice, because this film was kind of marketed as like an action adventure almost. It was marketed as like for kids. According to Chema, that little twig kid appeared in a lot of the marketing, even though he was barely in the film at all. Turns out, no, this movie, although it does have some of those elements, is more about immigrants. It's about the immigrant experience and the American dream and interracial relationships. Like, yeah, it's pretty damn good. So, unfortunately, this movie is very relevant, because unfortunately some of those topics aren't exactly the most welcomed thing. I'll go to bat and say, immigrants, please come. It's great. They bring a lot of diversity. They bring a lot of new opportunities, economic opportunities, and most immigrants just want to build a good life for their family. I know, I am the son of immigrants. In addition to that, it's also about the American dream, which is trying to ascend, trying to build, trying to give your family something that they can continue on. And lastly, the whole like interracial marriage relationship thing. Yeah, all good. If you like somebody, what's to stop you from being with them? Even in this film, like I remember the whole time thinking they can be together, right? Like, it's not gonna be one of those like messed up stories. I'm like, but how? Because they're trying to plasma's a thing. I don't know, that somehow worked, I guess. But I don't think it's fair to call this movie woke. I think it's just a movie with a good message that's worth watching. You know, it doesn't beat you over the head with it. It's just trying to tell a good coming of age / coming to America story. And it's a good thing. Ember, the main female character, she's fire, and Wade is the main male character, and he's water. How can they coexist? Simple. Plasma. They have a really cute relationship. They don't just start off as, oh, they love each other. He slowly wins over her heart. He slowly wins her over by his like people skills and whatnot. She's impressed by the way he handles himself. In that same capacity, while he wins her over with his people skills, she kind of wins him over with her like aggressive personality. It's the epitome of the relationship of like, hey, he didn't want pickles with that. You know what I mean? Take charge, take no bullshit kind of woman, which is not a bad thing, man. But yeah, people kept calling this movie woke, and I don't think that's a fair assessment. I think this movie is more relevant than anything else. And it's a cute movie. Plus, it also has a lot of great visuals, from her making the glass, Wade being creative and figuring out how to light the fuse for their, like, you know, do they love each other? But it's not just about their relationship. It's also about Ember's family, her mother and her father, who immigrated from Fireland. Her father, who opened a store, who speaks broken English. They have an original language, which is Firenese. I'm not sure what the proper term for it is. They even have the thing where their food is spicy and hot, which, I mean, technically that can be a stand-in for anything, from Mexican food to Korean food to Vietnamese food to, I don't know if Chinese and Japanese food is particularly spicy, but you get the point I'm saying. Like, they even get that small bit right. The father speaks in broken English because English is a second language. It works all the way around. There's tradition in it, but also new age ideas, coming to terms with who your kids are, coming to terms with what you want out of life. Because, you know, although she's always been raised the shop, she wants to be creative. She wants to be an artist, which is kind of like a running joke of like, oh, you don't want to be an artist, you want to be a, you know, insert a stereotypical job here. And it works. The whole thing works. The story works as a whole. This movie is very down to earth for Pixar, because it's not, although it has fantastical elements, it's not like in the stars. There's no world-ending stakes. It's simply expressing yourself and expressing yourself well. Visual, great. As far as the cons are concerned, Chema made the argument, and I do see some ground in it. it's arguable that Zootopia did it better, maybe? Because it's a city where everyone kind of interacts and coexists amongst each other, which Zootopia kind of did, and they kind of confronted racism. Although this is more, I guess, interracial versus like racism in general. Both do deal with hard topics. Both try to have a good message at the core, which I'd say that's maybe the important thing. If only Disney just barely beat Pixar to the punch on this one. Also, not a lot of big action sequences. The only real big one is at the very end when the flood comes. But besides that, not a lot of crazy action, which, again, I don't mind. I think the kids are going to be dazzled by the visuals so much, it's worth it. Also, the biggest con was that that opening scene with Carl from Up. They have like the little short before like the actual movie, and I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. But Elemental is a great movie. Will it be in the top 10? It won't be. It won't be. But it is a B. It is a movie worth rewatching. It's a fun movie. It's fun for the whole family. Go watch it. It's enjoyable. But yeah, that's going to wrap it for this episode of The Rollback. Do us a favor and like and subscribe. We'll see y'all later. Bye, everyone.